Hi, I'm Tom Salisbury, and I'm here to talk to you about Who. What is a Who? Who happens to be a program that is basically run by Share. Share is the people that are really working hard on the streets to deal with homelessness. And so Who is a part of that? It's Winter Hospitality Overflow. Basically, there's two churches involved with Who that keep people in overnight. We happen to pick St. Paul's. Now, St. Paul's is a facility that only deals with males. So they can handle 30 people a night. They've all got bunks. And we'll get into how they get in there here in a second. But we have opted to take Who on at St. Paul's because it is a great opportunity to help our fellow man. You know, these guys come in, and it's when we say homeless, you get this idea of them coming in off the street in various stages of whatever. This isn't the case there. All these people apply for the opportunity to go to one of these shelters. They're screened by Share, and they're authorized to show up. Now, before they ever show up, someone from Share, a caseworker, will be there to check them in and talk to them, because they also provide counseling and helping them with jobs, those type of things. What's our responsibility? That's the easiest part. And that's the scary part, because you get this idea that, well, what am I going to do? Well, if you can sit down, you can talk to people, you can pretty much do this job. We're required to provide people from 6 to 9, 9 to midnight, and then during the week from 6 in the morning to about 8 in the morning. And so you get down there, we'll say that you have the first shift because that's the most action there. They'll start letting the people in at 6:30. You get there at 6. And when you get there, there will be people that are part of the Who core group. And these are people primarily from St. Paul's Church, Lutheran Church. And but they can be interspersed with others, because there are several churches involved with all of this. And so they get down there, they're setting up a warm meal for them, putting on the coffee. You get in there and just sort of fill in where is needed. Once they start letting the people in at 6:30, then you have one person that makes sure they get signed in. So they have duties that they have to sign up for at night or in the morning. And so you just take care of that. And then at 7 o'clock they can start their showers. And we just sort of make sure that they don't camp out in the shower. And so that way everybody gets rotated through. And the people will, at about 7 o'clock, will also start doing their cleanup process. All that really involves from you is to pick up your feet when they're vacuuming. They all know what they want to do. And something important about these guys, they appreciate what they've got, the opportunity they have. They've got a warm place to sleep, they've got food. In the morning they've got breakfast, a cold cereal breakfast normally. And they have somebody to watch over them throughout the night. Security checks, checking to make sure that if anybody gets sick, that the appropriate actions are called for. Make sure that there's no fires, this type of thing. So we're there to help them out and take some of the pressure off of them from living on the streets. Well, that's a good question. Why do people want to serve there? And the reason is you have this need to do something for those that are less fortunate than ourselves. And this is a very convenient thing. And once you do it, and you see the appreciation on these fellows' faces. These are some great guys. They just fell onto hard times. And so you have the opportunity to do something, and basically with very little effort on your part, and it doesn't cost you anything, and they don't bug you. When I say bug you, they don't ask for money, they don't ask for a ride somewhere. They're there, they're appreciative, and it makes you feel good that you're able to help somebody out. Well, working there for myself is when I first went to do it, I was very apprehensive. This was something that I realized that I'm there with people that are in a weird situation. I have no idea what they go through on a day-to-day basis. So if somebody comes in and they're maybe more distant than they were the last time you saw them, it makes you probably realize that you don't understand the world that they're in out there. You don't know what happened there. So I became probably a little bit more compassionate towards those that are in those situations. I've never seen one of these people on an off ramp. I mean, and some of them are there. They have jobs that they get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to get to, and they live working out in Beaverton or something. So these guys have got a real tough road, and if I can be there and be of assistance to them and say, how you doing today, buddy? Or thanks for showing up tonight. You can see it in their face and in their eyes, and that makes me feel good. And others. I mean, I've stood shifts at Who for probably about 12 or 13 years. So I've stood shifts with a lot of people, and they all pretty much come away with the same attitude, the same feeling. You sometimes wonder what God has put on these guys' plates. I mean, I've talked to some of these guys that, things were going along great in their life, and then they were dealt a hand that just became more than they could handle. All right, so does it make you say, well, God is cruel or God doesn't exist? No, it doesn't. I mean, God has put challenges in front of me that I've had to deal with, but if you have God, then it's much easier. And I think that this is just sort of how God tests people. Because there are a lot of guys that go down there that are probably as much of believers in God as those of us right here in this church. And they deal with this, and by watching them deal with it, it makes you a